everyone, today I'm going to show you how I use my templates. If you want to purchase them, they are linked in my Etsy and you can find the link below. Alright, let's get started. First thing you're going to do is get your fabric and fold it over. You're going to use the ear cutting template. This is to cut out the fabric once you sew the ears. It gives you a nice line to follow. So you're going to want to trace that twice. And next you're going to use the ear sewing template. So you're going to place that right in the middle of the circle that you just made and trace that. This is where you're going to be sewing your ears once you're ready. Now you can just cut that out and set that aside. Next, get your fabric, fold it over, and grab your headband template. You're going to want to make sure that you put this on a folded piece of fabric. That way you're cutting out both sides of the headband template. So trace and cut this one. And once you cut it, when you open it, it should look something like this. This is good for a 1-inch headband. Next, you're going to get the bow template and place it on your fabric, and you're just going to cut this out. Super simple. You're going to do the same thing for the middle of the bow. Just place it on the fabric and cut it out. Now let's make the bow. So I like to cut out a smaller rectangle to go in the middle, and it gives your bow just a little bit more shape to it. You can just glue that on. It doesn't have to be perfect. And to construct the bow, you just have to give a generous amount of glue in the middle and have the top and bottom both come up and meet. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to fold both of the edges on the inside, and you should have a square that looks like this. And you're just going to accordion fold your bow 5 times. And once you do that, you could make some small adjustments and set it aside because we're going to make the middle of the bow. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to fold and glue in those raw edges. And once you do that, you can go ahead and wrap it around your bow. Once you have it wrapped around, you can cut off the excess, fold in that edge, and glue it down, and you have a perfectly cute bow. Now let's cover the headband. So I like to add a dot of glue on the inside of the headband. And you might have to cut off some excess fabric, but that's okay. And once I do that, I like to add slits on each side of the headband. That way they can meet nicely in the middle. Once you're done adding all the slits, you can just add hot glue to the middle of the headband and fold both sides of the fabric in to meet in the middle. Now that we're finished, you can grab your ears and you're just going to cut on that line that you made earlier, leaving a nice amount of room between what you sewed and the excess fabric. Now you're going to grab your foam template. I like to use poster board. There's a lot of things that you could use to put on the inside of your ears. You can use foam, cardstock, but I personally like poster board. Again, you can use whatever you like. As long as it's sturdy, it should work perfectly. Now just cut out whatever you used for your insert and we're ready to fill the ears. Now you're just going to take your ears, flip them inside out, and add your insert. Once you're finished with that, you can add the polyfill to your ears. There's no exact amount that I use, I just eyeball it and it's pretty simple. Once the ears are filled to your liking, you can just take the extra fabric and tuck it in and you'll have a nice clean edge to sew. Now to make sure that your ears are always sewn on straight, I like to add dots at 16 and 22 centimeters. This makes sure that every time I sew them on, they are in the same position, the same distance apart, and overall just make it look better. And now I'm just sewing it shut really quickly so I can start sewing it onto the headband. Now I'm going to make sure that I insert my needle right above the dot that I made so you cannot see it on the headband. And now I'm just going to alternate going into the ear and into the headband. If this is your first time sewing ears, just try and take this part nice and slow and it will become easier the more that you practice. You can go ahead and sew around your ears as many times as you feel it needs to make sure it's secure. And once you're done, you're just going to sew 2 knots, pull through your headband, and cut the thread. Once you've sewed on one ear, you're just going to repeat the process for the other ear. And now it's time for the best part, which is decorating. So that is how I make ears using my templates. I hope this was helpful, and leave any questions you have down below.